To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Okay, yeah, I know. This is the happiest place on earth, right? To all who come to this happy place, welcome. That's my intro, but I've made 2 depressing videos in a row. I'm trying to make this one a little more fun. Even though we're gonna be talking about the bad things about Disneyland today, I'm gonna make it fun because I still love Disneyland, but it's very rare that I call out Disneyland on things that they need to improve on. So today will be that day. For all of those who love Disneyland, I agree with you. I think Disneyland is the best theme park in the entire world, even though I haven't been to all the theme parks in the world. I'm just gonna say that it is. But as all of you know, we all make mistakes sometimes, Disneyland included. Now, if you haven't checked out my When Disney Gets It Wrong video, I highly recommend it. In that video, I discussed a few mistakes Disneyland made both in the past and in the present, but today we're going to go even more in depth. We're not gonna be talking just about DCA's early days or Disneyland's Green Space Mountain. No, today we're going to talk about some fundamental flaws at the Disneyland Resort, not just restricted to inside the parks. Things that, upon repeat visits, I think are dragging down my enjoyment of the park. So join me today as we happily discuss the problems at Disneyland. Now, from its very first day of operation, Disney California Adventure, or as I like to call it, DCA for short, has had a bit of an identity crisis. Now, I'm not really going to talk about the past of DCA. If you want to learn more about the past of DCA and how it had kind of a rough time coming up, check out my video Disney California Adventure, Past, Present, and Future. No, I mainly want to focus on the present of DCA right now. You see, the problem with DCA these days is it doesn't really know what park it wants to be. Should it be a park that pays homage to California and its rich history and geography? Or should it be the park where Disney puts all their intellectual properties that don't really have a place over in Disneyland? In this case, we're talking about things like Marvel and Pixar. Now, when I read announcements regarding new things coming to Disney California Adventure and I go down into the comments, I encounter one of 2 groups. I encounter the people who say, this isn't what California Adventure was supposed to be. This has nothing to do with California. What are you thinking, Disney? And then you have the people who are very excited for this change and excited for DCA's future because California was a terrible thing to theme a park after when it's in California. And then you have the people who are angry that they're taking away California Screamin' or the Tower of Terror, but I'm not really gonna get into that right now. And I say both of these groups are justified in how they feel. The one thing that really annoys me and kind of summarizes my point here is when you go to DCA and you're standing in front of Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout and the red car trolley pulls up right alongside the Collector's Fortress and the newsies start singing about how they're gonna be in California and how they're all gonna be stars one day. I think this visual is the best way to summarize the problems that DCA is facing. The Collector's Fortress is supposed to be somewhere out in outer space, while meanwhile you have these red car trolley newsies singing about going to California. But there are places in the park where DCA is trying to mix the 2 ideas together, a great example being Pixar Pier. Even though the story we know about Pixar Pier right now is foggy at best, we know that it's a great place for them to put all of their Pixar intellectual properties, and it's still themed after a California boardwalk. So to wrap up the California Adventure segment of this video, I just want to say to the Disney executives listening to this video, because I know you are, please just decide what you want Disney California Adventure to be. Do you want it to be an homage to the state of California? That's fine. But do you want it to be a place where you put all of your intellectual properties that don't belong in Disneyland? That's fine too. But find a way to balance it or devote yourself to one or the other. Now, my second thing that I want to talk about is not actually inside the Disneyland parks. It's something that you do right before you get into the parks. That's right, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the wacky and whimsical world of the Disneyland bag check line. Now, please don't click away from the video, at least not yet. Let me explain myself. I'll try to make this as fun as possible. And you Walt Disney Parks and Resorts executives who are listening to this video right now, be sure to be taking some notes. Now, Disneyland is the most magical place on earth, but not in the morning when you're trying to get into the parks because the line for bag check stretches almost all the way back to the bus lines most days. Now, I'm not here to complain about all the people going to the parks. The parks are always very busy nowadays. I'm here to complain about the way Disney does it, because I love to complain about things because I'm never satisfied. Now, I recently went to Walt Disney World and noticed one key difference between the 2 parks on the East Coast and on the West Coast, and that is, of course, the bag check line. obviously. Now, I'm not sure what they do different at Walt Disney World versus at Disneyland, even though I have a few ideas and I'll be telling you guys those later on. But whatever they are doing in Florida, California, you guys need to do the same thing. Bag check at Disney World will on average have even more people in line at a given time, but the lines move way quicker, and the process of getting through the line at Walt Disney World is a lot simpler. Simple? More simpler? Whatever, I'll figure it out later. I'm trying to say that the bag check line at Walt Disney World is way quicker and way easier. Where you could get to Disneyland early in the morning and spend upwards of an hour in line for the bag check line, at Disney World you can get there in the morning for park opening and not wait longer than 20 minutes. And like I said, that's on the shorter end of waiting. I know at Walt Disney World they make it very clear before you get to the front of the line that you must have all pockets and zippers of your bag undone already to speed up the process. I'm not sure if this is the only reason it's faster though. I think there's just a bit of a difference on how they train the security guards in charge of bag check, because they usually go through the bags a whole lot quicker than they do at Disneyland. And, well, I don't really know what more I can add to this right now. Just improve your bag check line, Disneyland, because it's seriously taking a little too long. Thank you. Moving on, it is now time to talk about the Downtown Disney District, or as I like to call it, the Triple D. Well, not that Triple D. Now, for those of you who live in California or only follow Disneyland exclusive news, Disney Springs recently opened up almost completely in Walt Disney World. It's their replacement for Downtown Disney. Disney Springs has the theme of a turn-of-the-century shopping district, which really immerses you in the theming when you're shopping out on the town. This is the sort of thing I would like to see come to Disneyland. Not necessarily a Disney Springs shopping area, but theming coming to Downtown Disney. Aside from the music and the trash cans, you don't really feel like you're in Disneyland. I mean, unless of course you're in World of Disney, because World of Disney is the best store in all of Downtown Disney. Since the shopping area is so close and connected to the Grand Californian, maybe you could theme Downtown Disney as a brand new Californian-esque shopping area. You know, past California, not modern day California. Less hobos. Now, I'm not saying Downtown Disney isn't really good the way it's done right now. It's really fun to walk down the street and get all your shopping done before you even go into the park. What I am saying though is that Triple D opened in 2001, and that was a long time ago, so I think that it is time for a facelift. Even if it doesn't involve a name change necessarily, I think a facelift or a remodeling of the Downtown Disney District would do the Disney company darn well. Lots of D's. And last on the list, but very near and dear to my heart, we are going to talk about Tomorrowland, everybody. To all of those who are in charge of Disneyland, fix Tomorrowland. Thank you all for watching, goodbye. Alright, obviously I'm just kidding, the video's not over yet. Tomorrowland is one of those lands that's really hard to pin down in terms of an overarching theme, because Tomorrowland doesn't really know what it wants to be right now. You have the space exploration of Space Mountain, but you also have the fantasy of Star Tours and the cartoony childlike wonder of Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. Not to mention that the Autopia is still meant to represent the futuristic highways, you know, the ones that they were building in the 1980s. Not to mention that the food in Tomorrowland is, cheeseburger pizzas. What about cheeseburger pizzas represents the future to you, Disneyland? Now I know you're all saying to yourselves, Dallin, you bring up a really good point and Tomorrowland could use a little help, but what, in your opinion, would bring Tomorrowland back to being the best land in the entire park? Just reopen the people mover. Reopen the people mover. Just reopen the people mover. Tear down the entire track, raise it to the ground, rebuild it, take as long as you need, Disney. I'll pay you, take all my money, just reopen the people mover. Whatever it takes, just do it. Now obviously that was a joke. Reopening the people mover wouldn't revitalize Disneyland's Tomorrowland altogether, but in case you were wondering, I do have a few other ideas. 1. Replace all of the cars in the Autopia with electric cars. 2. Since we're getting a land devoted solely to Star Wars, tear out Star Tours from Tomorrowland and replace it with a brand new original Disney attraction. Maybe a reimagining of Journey Through Inner Space. I'm sorry guys, I just really want to ride that attraction. I wasn't around for it when it was open, but alright, moving on. 3. Close down Pizza Port or Pizza Planet or whatever it is right now and replace it with whatever you're planning for Epcot with that Mission Space restaurant. Just do that. 4. Redo the entire queue of Space Mountain, because really right now it's looking extremely dated. Just look at that guy giving you the spiel. Look at his face. Look at that guy's face. He looks like he's straight out of the boy bands in the 1990s. Now you guys should get the idea by now. Tomorrowland at Disneyland is a little dated and it could use a lot of help. Closing down almost all of Tomorrowland and giving it a massive makeover in time for the 70th anniversary of Disneyland is something that I can only dream of. And who knows, maybe next year around this time at D23 they'll announce it. Disney, that's a hint from me. If you need anyone to report only good things about you, just invite me to D23, give me that press pass, and But what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Tomorrowland right now at Disneyland? Do you think it's in a good spot, a bad spot, or what do you guys think about it? I'd love to know down in those comments below. What do you guys think we can do to improve Tomorrowland, or do you guys already think it's pretty good? Just let me know down in those comments below. And remember, just because Disneyland is the happiest place on Earth, doesn't mean there's not room for improvement. Hey everybody, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed me ranting about Disneyland for a little while. What did you think of my opinions? Do you guys think I'm right, wrong? Do you think Disneyland's good the way it is, or do you think the problems that I brought up today were actually really valid and something that Disneyland should look into? Be sure to follow me on Twitter if you guys would like some more updates regarding my channel, my life, when I'm going to be in the parks, and what I'm doing in the parks. And if you feel so inclined, please help me out by donating on Patreon. Even just $1 every month really helps me get into the parks and make more videos and have better equipment to get these videos to you guys. Lastly, if you feel like you want to join in the conversation about my channel or about Offhand Disney or Disneyland in general, please hop over to the Offhand Disney Discord. Please note that I am not a moderator on there. I am very hands-off of the Discord. Sometimes I'll hop in and you'll be able to talk to me and, converse with me and other people who love Offhand Disney and other Disney-related channels. So go over and hop onto that Discord. Just remember, I'm not in charge of a lot of the stuff there. I'm very hands-off. And I think that about wraps it up for this video. Everybody, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I love making videos for you guys. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.